of is Ben going to be here today?
Ben is here.
I think it's the return of the Dream Stream Team.
That's right.
Dream Team. Well, you guys ditched me pretty hard the other day, right? Like, first it was, well, we want to have some of our players come on and do a stream. There's no room for you. Okay, it's cool. Then it was like, well, we have this fireplace idea, and like Charles really knows the story better than you do. You're just gonna bring us down.
It would be hard. Look, it'd be hard for the people to see the fireplace if you were here. Like, look,
look,
you can't even see it, Ben.
I know. I block it out. I'm sorry.
It's not even there.
I'm
anymore.
not worthy for the Stream Dream Team anymore.
Anyway.
Despite coining the phrase Stream Dream Team.
I know. We really should bring you on every time just for that. The Three Musketeers. I think that's also what it's called.
That works. I like that.
Anyway, welcome to... It's crazy. Like, we're here.
Yeah.
I know.
Right?
It's so close.
Do we know?
It's
so close.
I don't know.
Very close.
Yes.
Days amount of time. I don't even... My brain doesn't work anymore.
Next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Presumably for all of our loyal fans who are in chat today, they've qualified for early access, but next Tuesday.
Quite literally today, I made a post on the forums this morning saying, like, hey... Don't forget to tune into our wrap-up stream today, and I put the day as Thursday. I made it all the way to today without messing it up and changing it on the streams, and I was so proud of myself, and then I messed it up in the forum post. Still don't know what days are. Anyway, so what we're going to do today is we are going to wrap up all of the things Eternal Throne. Just if for some reason you don't know all the things and you haven't tuned into the 7 or whatever streams we've done up to this point, we're going to recap all of it, and then we have a whole bunch of cool new stuff to share. Like, I think I have, like, 3 or 4 videos in the PowerPoint. I got a billion GIFs of all the new class abilities. Like, there's lots of stuff to show you today as well. So, got all kinds of things. And then the whole time we're going, please ask your questions in chat, and I'll make sure to yank them out and throw them at Ben and Charles while we're going.
Yeah.
I already saw one really important question, which I'm not going to be able to answer in the stream, which is what do I put in my hair?
I was just going to say the same thing.
I'll send you a screenshot on Twitter later on.
Okay.
Let's keep on topic.
Oh, new sparkle powder. That's a good question. Do we have any new colors of sparkle powder going in Knights of the Eternal Throne?
I actually don't know. Do you know?
I'm not sure if I want to reveal that information.
Guys.
We just said we'd answer every question, Charles. All right, let's move along.
Yeah. We clearly need more sparkle powder. I'm on board with you guys in chat. Also, Kaizaki Companion has to come up every time. Anyway, so as we mentioned, instead of going over a lot of the usual community topic stuff that we do up front, this stream is kind of dedicated to community topics. So questions that you have, throw them in chat, and we'll bring them out. But character transfers. Ben, do you want to talk about this a little bit?
Yeah. So, we saw a few posts on the forums about, hey, with Eternal Throne coming up, could we put the character transfers back on sale for people coming back to the game if they want to move around to join their friends or whatever else. So we decided we definitely do want to do that. And so we're going to have a fixed period of time this time around. So from early access next Tuesday, the 29th, all the way through till the 18th of January, we're going to be doing 90 Cartel coin transfers and then 150 if you're doing cross-region transfers. So, yeah, we saw that feedback and thought, great idea.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's give you guys the flexibility to move around a little bit. And there you go.
I also look forward to, on January 19th, a forum post going up with someone being like, when are they going to put transfers on sale? Because it happens every time, and it's always my favorite.
Yep. Let's go out and say this time we're not going to do it. We've given a specific window. There's this amount of time. Get everything organized and move.
Yep. So, no, you click. I'm over here taking questions.
Well, you did make this PowerPoint, so me clicking is...
Yeah, which, Ben, it's important that Ben says that, because I feel like there's a 100% chance I have a typo somewhere in here.
Ooh, that's not what I said.
100%
Should we give out an award if someone finds a typo?
Yes,
oh, man, okay.
The old, the Marvel no prize thing?
Yeah, there you go. All right.
Comics.
I'm on board.
Promotions, as everyone knows who's in chat with us on the stream, we've got early access coming up next week. That's for everyone who's subscribed from October 25th through to November 27th. And, of course, this amazing walker here in the background with its bearded friend, not included, the Rapid Recon walker. This thing's really sweet.
He should be, though.
It's really sweet in action. So you can be, if you're a subscriber on November 27th, the day before early access, you can get that Rapid Recon walker and roll around in style, or walk around in style, I guess.
So, question, and it's kind of there's a two-parter, part for you, part for Ben, which is Charles is my companion coming back, is my favorite companion coming back in Eternal Throne. Common question we get. Following to Ben, which is following the answer Charles is about to give. When are they going to come back?
I mean, who's their favorite companion? Did they say? Was it?
Let's say
that's a cruel thing to say.
Let's say Kai Zyken.
Yeah. Well, Kai Zyken was never a companion, so technically. No, I mean, we talked about this last stream, but no, there's as far as pre-Fallen Empire companions go, we aren't actually bringing any more back as part of this story. It kind of came out of the feedback from last year. We felt like we kind of focused a little too much on bringing some of the old companions back, and I felt like that kind of dragged the story out a bit too much. Made people feel like they weren't getting the kind of closure and the kind of progress in the main plot that they were looking for. So
everyone's now telling you which companion I meant, which is a lot of them.
So unfortunately, no, we decided that we really needed to focus the story on finishing off those plot threads, giving the closure, making sure things moved the way they needed to. So
another question related came up: if I kill a companion throughout the story, or kill a main character, I suppose, can I bring them back later? Do I have an undo button?
Yeah, I mean, there's the terminal that's available inside your Alliance base on Odessen that lets you bring back just about everyone. I know we've gone back and forth on whether to allow you to bring back people that you very specifically choose to murder. We feel like that's a choice that should matter. And maybe stick, but I think we'd be flexible on that if people are into it.
Yep. Cool. And just to be clear what Charles said, because I see people being like, that's not the community feedback. What he was specifically referencing is the story. Believe me, we know the community feedback of, I want my companion back.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
that's very loud. I don't want anyone to think we didn't get that part.
Yeah,
Charles knows that part.
I usually give that caveat up front, which is I spent a significant portion of my adult life writing companion stories. I promise as much as you want them back, I want them back 10 times more. The companions are so crucial to Star Wars, to the Old Republic. They're such an awesome part of the story. They're all so cool and different characters. I love them so much, and it's deeply important to me to get them back, and I think that was part of what led to some problems last year, because I was really trying to get as many back as I could. So definitely want to get them all back when we can. It's just a matter of there's so many to do, so many to cover, and we want to do them well.
Can I make a suggestion to chat? So when we're doing questions, it's like all over the place. We're going to cover every part of the expansion.
That's fair.
What would be really good is, like, let's say you have a Galactic Command question. There's a Galactic Command section. So, like, to keep us, like, not jumping around, it would be cool if, like, whatever the topic of the slide is, we try to do questions about that. And if we get through everything and we didn't get to the question you want to ask, we can do, like, a free-for-all.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard to follow along the thousands of questions that are kind of not related to each other.
I've been banking some questions. Like there was some questions about Galactic Command and stuff, and I'm trying to bank them in my head. So that's a good point. Yeah,
cool.
So we'll keep on through, but we're going to literally cover everything. So make sure to save your question for that actual topic. So we'd seen people bring it up on the forums and on social media, and we wanted to make sure everyone knew. Are there going to be sales in honor of the traditional retail Black Friday holiday? And the answer is absolutely yes. So first off, collection unlocks are 50% off. Right now, they'll be going for a week or two. We'll announce on social media and stuff when that sale's going to end, but they're 50% off right now. And then starting Friday, each day through Monday, there's going to be a different sale, and I'll let you read the slide on exactly what those are going to be. But again, each day there's going to be a new thing that's half off on sale for direct sale items. And in honor of that, we're not going to do a traditional giveaway that we normally do on stream. Instead, the entire time we're talking, Tate's going to be throwing Cartel coins into chat. So if at any point you feel like, you know what, I feel like it's been a while since Tate's given me some codes, yell at Tate in chat.
Yeah.
Which I'm encouraging, and I probably shouldn't. But please
Hashtag Tate.
Hashtag Tate. So please yell at Tate for that. Anyway, but that'll be going on throughout the entire stream.
Oh God, why would you invite that to happen?
Because it's Tate's problem. Here they come, crack knuckles. There you go, Tate.
All right. So before we get into each specific thing, these are kind of the high-level topics we're going to be talking about, and coincidentally, they are the expansion features. So I think the thing that we're really excited about with this expansion, and hopefully we've been communicating it well. Oh my gosh, hashtag. Is that there is a lot of content in this expansion, a lot of cool stuff coming both at launch and also following very soon after. So 9 brand new story chapters that includes venturing to 2 brand new planets. You get a new Outlander character token allowing you to start either at 60 or 65, depending where you want to start the story, either at Fallen Empire or Eternal Throne. We're making all the chapters repeatable and replayable, which is really awesome. Like if you want to relive some of your favorite Star Wars moments in the Old Republic, you can do that. We have some really cool gameplay innovations, and there's a sweet tease video of that we've got today to show you guys.
Yep.
Galactic Command, a brand new system really designed around facilitating endgame progression, earning more power, as well as being able to influence the state of the galaxy through the Dark vs. Light system. 5 brand new Uprisings coming out, 4-player multiplayer content, a big focus of ours, in launch and beyond launch. The 5 new levels, of course, the new level cap being 70, and a bunch of new class abilities that we've got some gifts that our pal Nick created for us, and we're going to talk a little bit about them today as well.
A good question that is actually relevant to this is someone said, and I don't know that we'll answer the entire question, but will there be more chapters later in the year? And I think this kind of is a good way for us to talk about what our focus is after Eternal Throne.
Yeah, so I think to answer that question, it's important to understand the lesson we believe we learned this past year, which was doing a big story bundle with Knights of the Fallen Empire was an amazing thing to do. Everyone came back, they loved the story, we had lots of activity and buzz in the game. Doing the monthly chapter cadence felt less rewarding to people because they were a month apart for each chapter, and we're kind of in this world of binge watching and binge access to entertainment, and so we felt like that didn't work as well as it could have. And what was really missing was that kind of replayable multiplayer content, that group activities, the social activities. And so this year the plan is we drop a big set of chapters with a bunch of multiplayer content, Uprisings, Dark vs. Light bosses, that kind of stuff. And then we'll focus primarily on repeatable multiplayer content in between big expansions. And then whenever we do a big expansion, we'll drop a big chunk of story again. So probably the next time you could expect a big bundle of story chapters would be our next expansion. And strangely enough, we're not yet ready to talk about that. Today we were just going to talk about the current expansion.
Why not, Ben? If you haven't used a token, because you specifically mentioned Outlander character token, if you haven't used your Knights of the Fallen Empire token, will you still get another one in Eternal Throne?
Yeah, you will do.
And it will work both ways. So you will then have 2 tokens, and you can use it for 60 or 65.
Yeah. Which, there's a hot tip for you. If you haven't subscribed before the expansion comes out, and you haven't played Fallen Empire, subscribe now, get a token. Subscribe later, get another token.
Yeah.
You get 2 tokens.
Easy.
Yep. All right.
All right, that was a summary. So I guess, Charles, you'll talk about
a little bit of quick story overview. We talked about this in the last stream, but just kind of catching people up on what's going on. Of course, you as the player, the Outlander, you're in charge of the Alliance, dedicated to overthrowing the Eternal Empire. That, of course, is now ruled by Valen, who, after you defeated her brother Arkan, has seized control. She's got Scorpio at her side, sort of as an advisor. You know, we all know we can't trust Scorpio. Senya and Arkan are on the run. They have fled. Senya hoping to redeem her son Arkan, bring him back to the light side, make him who she always hoped he would be in the absence of his father, who is of course Valkorion, who's in our head, giving us lots of useful and entirely trustworthy advice that we should definitely follow in every walk of life, because Valkorion is definitely a nice person and trustworthy.
I've always felt that about him.
Yeah.
He gives me his power. I don't see how that could go wrong.
And we've got 2 awesome new planets in the expansion this year, Iokath and Nathma, and I think if we go to the next slide, we'll see some pictures of those. That's Iokath there. Iokath is a fully technological, fully constructed planet. It's completely artificial. It's a Dyson sphere, so it's actually built on the inside of a sphere, built around a sun, around a star. It's a giant place, really, really cool, where we're going to get a lot of the backstory on the Eternal Fleet, Gravestone, lots of other things, secrets that had not yet been revealed. And then, of course, Nathma is the original homeworld of Valkorion, a.k.a. Vitiate, a.k.a. Tenebrae, a.k.a. all sorts of things. He's been around for a while. This was the planet featured in the Revan novel written by Drew Karpyshyn, and so this is going to be our chance to actually visit it and see a little bit more of the backstory for both Valkorion and actually Valen and some of her upbringing and how she became who she is.
Hey, which incredibly amazing team invented Iokath?
Oh, that would be us.
Oh, sorry, I just totally forgot that for a second. Okay, cool.
Ben. Speaking of planets, one of the story questions that we've gotten is someone asked specifically about Tython. What's been going on? What's been going on with Tython the entire time? But I think that's a better question of what's been going on with the other capital worlds, like some of those planets. Is that something we're going to see and learn about?
Yeah, we'll actually get a view into some of those planets, like the capital worlds during this expansion. We aren't going to Tython this time, but definitely digging into what's happening with the Jedi and the Sith and stuff is something that I really want to dive into as the story moves forward, because of course that's one of the key parts of Star Wars. So nothing to say on Tython yet, but some of the other old worlds that you're familiar with you might get to see again in this expansion for sure.
Very cool. Also a story question, which is super easy to answer, so I'll steal it from you, is I saw someone asking about what is Drew's involvement with all this stuff. First off, he released a short story last week all about, I'll actually let you intro because you'll know it better than I will.
So Drew actually wrote a short story that kind of details the events surrounding the end of the Betrayed trailer. That was the cinematic trailer we released a month or 2 back. It was all about Valen's upbringing and Senya and how their relationship broke down and how Valen had to be kind of sequestered away. So Drew wrote a really great short story kind of giving the lead-in and the battle that happens at the end of that cinematic and sort of the ultimate result of that battle, which leads directly into the story of Knights of the Eternal Throne and the chapters that we're doing this year. So Drew's role on the team, he was, of course, an extremely experienced and senior writer, so his role on the team was chapter writing. So he wrote and or contributed to the writing for pretty much all the chapters, along with all our other writers on the team.
Cool. I'm seeing lots of questions specifically about the storyline of Kotet. Pro tip, not answering them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That is spoiler central. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah. Can you make
and we're so close. Like, you don't want to spoil that story now? Like, just wait till next Tuesday. You can play it all.
It's coming so soon.
Yeah, a lot of the questions of, if I make X choice, will it have X consequence? I've heard a rumor of XYZ. What about that? Yeah, we're probably not going to talk about any of those. Only because we want to
ruin it for you. We don't want to ruin that.
I did see one question in there that I will answer. Is Theron going to die? Yes, one day all of us will die.
Very important question. Arkin has kissable lips. Will we get to kiss them someday?
Time will tell. I have seen a lot of interest in the Arkin romance angle.
I wish last week
which is really cool to me.
I wish last week we had the foresight to name last week's stream Arkin has kissable lips. Right? It would have been amazing.
Kissable lips, fireside chat.
None of this makes any sense. Go watch last week's stream.
All right, I'm going to move us along.
Moving along. Yeah. So repeatable chapters. This is another really cool feature this year that we're excited about. So all 25 chapters, so the 16 from Knights of the Fallen Empire, the 9 that we're releasing now with Knights of the Eternal Throne, can all be repeated once you've played through them once. That includes a new interface that lets you do that, launching the chapters, and it lets you change the difficulty modes, which is something we're especially excited about this year. That was definitely one of the feedback points we took from the 16 chapters in Fallen Empire. A lot of players really wanted to see a little more challenge there, really wanted to go up against tougher enemies and feel like they were getting the kind of challenge they were looking for. So this year chapters have story mode, which is about the difficulty level that all of the things were last year. If you just want to experience the story and have a fun, exciting experience, story mode's for you. And then we have the new veteran mode, which is a good bit tougher. So that's going to be a fun challenge for folks to dive into, and you can actually play all the chapters through in veteran mode on the first go if you're interested in that. Or you can change your difficulty at any time. If you go up in difficulty, nothing has to change. If you go down in difficulty, you actually have to reset the chapter, because that would be a little bit cheatery, guys. Come on. So we've got also a third difficulty mode coming after launch in January. That's mastered mode. That's going to be the toughest one of all. Just truly a real challenge for people. So really. Really designed for max level players and high level gear past the chapters to really butt their heads against.
And I know one of the questions we had is when is Master Mode going to follow, since we had said that it's going to come shortly after launch. So shortly after launch means January, so you don't have to wait very long.
Yep. And there's a question, is completing Master Mode on par with Nightmare Ops in terms of rewards? So in general, and we can get to this a bit more with Galactic Command, like in general, like the harder difficulty you do of the harder content gives you more command experience points. That lets you level fast and lets you get gear faster. So it's hard, like, a Master Mode chapter would give you less rewards than a Master Mode operation, for example, because operations in general are harder. Right. But that general premise is right. The harder difficulty you do, the more... command experience points you get, the faster you'll get gear.
And also the more, multiplayer, the more players you have to get together to do it. I was going to say, there's
kind of two multipliers, right? Like difficulty is one multiplier, you can't see my hand, difficulty is one multiplier, and the other multiplier is exactly. So,
Yep.
Okay.
Cool.
Gameplay innovations.
Oh, yeah. This is so we haven't actually shown this yet. We've kind of hinted at it, teased about it, talked about it. So really, really excited about some of the stuff we're doing this year in the chapters. We got to expand on the gameplay in a lot of interesting ways this year that we hadn't done before. Some of that's going to include the ability to actually pilot a full-size combat walker and stomp through battle, blow up a whole bunch of stuff. I'll say stuff. Go undercover as a cool knight. Infiltrate enemy stuff as part of the story. And even remote control a mouse droid to kind of sneak into places that your regular size person wouldn't be able to do. And maybe even a little other extra stuff that we'll dive into later. But we've actually got a really cool set of clips here to show y'all that actually you can see these things in action and check them out.
Yep. And for the sake of my less clicking, I'm going to keep our faces on stream. I'll just mute our microphone so you can't hear us.
It'll become a reaction video.
Yeah, right, correct. All right, so here we go.
back.
And we're back.
Will the graphics run a little smoother? We've actually done a lot of performance improvements in this update.
Yeah.
I totally switched us on the topic. I saw the question.
That's all right. Yeah, it's a good
We're
question.
doing a lot of really cool things.
It's actually really worth pointing out, only because it could happen. Anyone who's watched the previous streams knows this. Like, I'm not joking when I say the amount of stuff in this PowerPoint presentation I have today is out of control. So any hitching that happens, it's the video in the PowerPoint. The game actually probably runs better than it's ever run before.
Yeah.
So it's a video problem. If anything hitches, it's not actually the game.
So a lot of it was kind of efficiency improvements so that it runs smoother, and there's actually some really cool visual improvements as well, and especially in terms of how the characters act.
Yeah, facial animations. Animations overall should be smoother, a little bit faster, way more performant, which is really exciting.
Yeah. I will say I've never felt as amazing in our game as I have piloting that walker.
It's so cool.
Doing like the grav bomb to pull everything in, and you're just like, I'm just going to shoot some mortars and blow up 80 things at one time.
Just going around and stepping on stuff is so rewarding.
Yeah.
Especially when they've got anyway, it's awesome. I can't wait to check it out.
Yep.
All right, so next up is Galactic Command. So again, Galactic Command is a brand new system we're introducing for players at level 70. A question before was what was the new level cap I saw in chat. The level cap is level 70. It's the way to facilitate endgame progression. So we covered this in the intro, but really this is all about playing the game the way you want to play the game, right? Any activity you play in Star Wars: The Old Republic will give you command experience points. Those experience points will grant you command ranks. Every time you get a command rank, you get a command crate. Inside of the command crate, you have powerful gear, which is a new way to obtain gear and power in the game, in addition to other things like vanity rewards, crafting materials, etc. And that's kind of the summary of how that works, right? We really want to simplify the way we transition people from the story into the end game, but still reward the people who play the hardest content, right? Yeah. So if you're big into playing the hardest difficulty or hardest challenge mode of an Uprising, you'll get the most command experience points, and then you'll get ahead of the gear curve because you'll be getting more gear faster.
Yep.
So that's the summary of Galactic Command. I think now's a great time to say, hey, are there good Galactic Command questions floating around that you guys want to answer?
Question I saw, will there be Command XP boosts similar to other XP boosts in the game?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we've done experience boosts for everything in the game so far, and so via the Cartel market, we'll be selling a Command experience point boost as well. I think right now we're planning to do a 20% boost.
Cool. Yep. One of the questions that I saw earlier is, if I'm amazing and I figure out a great way to get command points super fast. We had talked about a long time ago, I had made a forum post that there is a cap of how many points you can get in a week. But this cap is in no way intended to slow you down. Yeah. It's only intended for some reason, if there's a bug or something that someone finds a way to exploit it, we just want to make sure there's a ceiling. Yeah. Will I get it?
It's a pretty
if I'm incredible enough to get to that cap, will I be punished for it?
I mean, if you're... We'll look at how people are playing it, and if you're just doing normal stuff and we didn't plan for it that way, no, of course we're not going to punish you for doing something within the rules.
Just up the cap if it turns out it's low enough. Yeah. It's not low enough.
Yeah.
I tell you.
Now, if you found some tricky, sneaky way to exploit things and get things in ways we didn't intend, maybe not, that's going to depend on the severity of it.
Yeah. But. And the question of the cap, again, the cap is intended that you will never reach it. Yeah. It is intended to be extremely high. Yeah. Another question I saw from someone earlier is, in-game events, will those contribute to Command XP? And I think probably a better question is, what won't contribute to Command XP? I think that's almost the easier thing to say.
I think the easiest thing to say is, like, if you just go around killing standard mobs, it doesn't help. Right. But once you're doing elite and above, any mission or activity in the game, you'll then be getting Command experience points.
Yeah, it is quite literally anything that is not killing a standard mob awards Command XP.
Just about
anything. So, like, if you're doing an event, for an example, any elites or higher will give you Command XP, and then completing the missions will give you Command XP. So, yes, like, literally anything in the game would do it.
There's a question, thoughts on Command Experience passes for preferred players. So, remembering Galactic Command is something we want to give to all of our subscribers. It's a subscriber benefit. We wanted to make the incentive and reward for subscribing more, and to give those people more access to Star Wars: The Republic. So we don't have plans right now to allow non-subscribers to participate in Galactic Command, remembering that on day one, in order to play the expansion, everyone has to be a subscriber. So day one, it's literally everyone has access to the expansion. But we're going to monitor that over time. I mean, if it turns out we need to open it up and be more flexible, we'll certainly do that. But on day one, it's a benefit we wanted to give to subscribers. So that is how Galactic Command works.
Yep. And then another question for it that we've seen is, the way command crates work is there's a random element to it, because you will get a piece of gear. You'll always get one piece of gear per crate and it's determined by your discipline, is that there's people who are concerned about the random nature of it.
There are several thoughts to the random nature of it all, right? One is, the goal is you're getting so many loot crates so frequently, like about once every hour, depending how you play the game, that we don't think it's going to be a problem that people won't get the kind of gear they need. So the second part of that is, remember, you can rip a lot of the mods out of the gear that you have and move them to other pieces. So if you get 2 chest pieces, you can move most of the stuff from a chest piece to a leg piece, for example. So I think for the most part, you're covered on getting power. The big question is, what about arm rings? What about set bonuses?
Yep.
So there are 7 items that contain set bonuses. You need 6 out of 7 for a full set of bonus gear to get your 6 out of 6 set bonus. That's the thing we'll monitor, right? We believe that between all the different tiers of loot, between all the 300 levels of Galactic Command, that people will get the armoring. Like, you might get the lower tier, chest armoring, and not get the higher tier chest armoring, but you can still have the set bonus, or you can choose to swap that out, right? But if it turns out that is a problem, that's the thing that we'll just adjust as we go. I mean, it's easy to give an out, right? We could do many, many things, and I don't even want to brainstorm them here with everyone, but there are ways that we can say, hey, if you've played a certain amount of the game and you got super unlucky by not getting that one armoring that you need, we give you an out. So we're going to monitor that, and we can make that change pretty easily if it turns out to be a big problem. We don't think it will be, but we'll keep our eye on it for sure. We have all of that data.
Yeah, I saw someone ask, do you get command experience for playing PvP? Absolutely.
In fact, one of the intentions is that ranked PvP and the hardest difficulty operations are 2 of the highest possible ways to get command experience points, because we wanted to make sure that PvE and PvP players both had great mechanisms for being able to get.
Especially doing the most time-intensive or highest skill activity, should reward the best amount of points.
What will happen when you hit rank 300, which is the max level of Galactic Command at launch? You can actually continue advancing through the bar. You'll continue earning command crates. You just won't go up in level, and those will be the best crates in the system. You'll continue to get the best gear out of that. So you continue doing that. We've also got other rewards that you get as you advance through the system. Some cool little vanity items that you can show how far you've gotten. And then, of course,
do you want to describe it more? What is the flare? Like,
so the flare is something that goes like we've seen it with the legendary status for some of the players that could have earned that already. It's essentially a bracket that goes around your player portrait and is visible to other players. It's a cosmetic element that just looks really, really cool and sets you apart from everyone. So it's of course that command level will be expanded in future updates, but we'll get into that later.
So I saw a question that was, but all the gear that drops from crates is green, that means it's not moddable. Not quite correct. We're actually dropping lots of rarities of different gears. So I think we have 12 total sets of gear, or 11, 12?
11.
11?
I'm trying to do the math in my head. A whole bunch of sets.
A whole lot of sets, and then every time you open a crate, you have the chance of getting a green, blue, purple, or legendary, which is a new color we're adding into the Old Republic universe. It's very rare. If you get a legendary item, you will want to hang on to it for a long time. But so there's lots of different rarities, and so I think there'll be many opportunities for you to be pulling mods out of different gear and moving it around for sure.
And I think it's easy to get lost in the colors as well, right? Like, I think a lot of the gear in the game right now that's green is kind of that's the useless stuff. The green gear in these crates is great compared to the gear that you've gotten leveled up.
It is actually an upgrade. If you get a green tier 2 piece, it is an upgrade from tier 1. May not have set bonus, but if you don't need the set bonus in that slot, it is actually
we're doing a soft reset basically. You start again and you'll start earning green gear and you'll work your way up to purple or legendary gear. That's certainly the idea.
All right, I'll keep my eyes open if you want to.
Let's keep it moving.
It's a fair point. Legendary is not technically new. Yes, you are correct, but in the sense of like it's more widely accessible. We have more options for it. It's not something we've offered in the way we're offering it this time around.
And I feel like I saw someone mention, since we haven't used it, concerns about like repair costs and that type of thing with legendary items. That's the kind of stuff we would certainly monitor and go, oh, maybe this is an issue we need to address or something. Like, I think the one thing, and Ben pointed this out earlier with talking about RNG, is in no way are we unwilling to make changes, right? Like we've changed disciplines and stuff like that. We're going to continue to monitor and make any changes that are needed to the system.
All right.
Oh, is it?
Is it not clicked in?
There we go.
Have we clicked off?
Yeah, so Uprisings, the brand new kind of group content we've put in, and recently we've done a lot of things here, right? Like we had the Bad Feelings podcast guys come on our stream 2 weeks ago and play these live. We really kicked off in earnest our influencer program, and you guys have probably seen a bunch of those video guides. So, yeah, they did a great job, which is coming up next. But again, these and we played this with press actually last week as well. So far, been received really, really positively, which is exciting. Fast-paced, action-centric adventures. Faster paced than Flashpoints have been before, much more hectic. You have lots and lots of mobs coming at you. There's wave fights, there's power-ups where you can get thermal devastators, as Charles phrases
Just one step better.
Upgrade from the poor man's choice of a thermal detonator. Rocket launchers, things that remove your cooldowns and stuff like that, which is really exciting. And as well as boss fights with some pretty unique mechanics. So these are going out with a launch of 5.0 in 2 difficulty modes, Story and Veteran. Story is kind of like role neutral, so any 4 people can go and play it. Veteran, you're going to really want to have your tank, healer, and 2 DPS. And then Master Mode will be coming in the new year, and that is going to be brutally hard, is the intent right now.
Yeah.
Great question that I saw from someone, kind of a class-specific question, but with Uprisings meant to be fast-paced and highly mobile, how do we worry about the balance as it relates to something like Sniper or Gunslinger that are largely, like, their hardest-hitting abilities require kind of standing still and doing that type of stuff? And that's actually an interesting question because unrelated to Uprisings, one of the changes that we've implemented with Gunslingers and Snipers is through their utilities, making them more mobile and using more hit and run. So it's actually kind of fixed in the class design as opposed to the Uprising design.
It was certainly part of the philosophy of like our combat team getting with the Uprising team and saying, what are you doing and what do we need to do to adjust classes? Like, oh, my Scoundrel doesn't have an AoE ability and it's important to have an AoE ability. Okay, well, we'll give them an AoE ability. That sounds like a good idea. Snipers are very immobile. Okay, what do we make them a bit more mobile? And so they're kind of the great ways that the team communicated to each other and came up with something that we think will work. And if it turns out it doesn't, if some class is lacking something to do the kind of content we're building, then we can just add that in and make those adjustments as we go. But we think we've done a great job for launch, and we think everyone's going to be really happy with the improvements we've made to the classes. I'm getting ahead of myself because classes come later.
To be fair, I brought it up, so you can blame me. So we talked about this. One of the things that we did is we launched the influencer program, and so one of the first kind of initiative parts that we've done is we wanted to make sure to give those guys exclusive opportunities so that they can be the ones delivering information and things to you first. And so this is the kind of our dipping our toe in the water with that. There's 5 Uprisings coming with Knights of the Eternal Throne, and so one of them is the Crimson Fang Uprising, and so we had 4 of our fan sites, Kidley, New Overlords, Star Wars The Academy, or you may know SWTOR, and Sam from SWTOR Central, all did exclusive walkthroughs. Some of them did trailers, some of them did gameplay videos. They all kind of did something a little bit different, but we recommend you check out all their channels. Also, special shout out to Corellian Run and Bad Feeling for helping those guys in filming a full 4-man group murder fiesta of Crimson Fang. So we highly recommend you go check out those videos so you guys can kind of see some gameplay from Crimson Fang. So, and thanks again to all of our influencers who took the time to go record those videos and release them. Really, really great footage. It was really fun to see kind of the fun and craziness they were having with chasing down the power-ups and trying to line up crazy thermal devastators and stuff. It was really cool. So we highly recommend that you guys check them out.
One question, will we be able to get to level 70 without a subscription? No. The expansion is a reward that we provide to subscribers. Other games do things like, hey, it costs $60, and kind of our approach is, no, if you're paying your subscription, we want to give it to you for free and continue to have you play the game and experience the new content. But you certainly need to have a subscription to unlock the expansion and unlock the ability to get to level 70.
Excellent.
All right, what's up next? Ooh, Dark First Light. This is cool.
We forgot to even tease that we were showing this. I forgot.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Well, don't ruin it now.
I'm gonna stop talking.
So the Dark First Light system ties directly into Galactic Command, but it's the other part of it, right? Like being a ruler of the galaxy is not just about gaining power, but it's influencing the galaxy. And so everyone here will have a choice to make. Do you fight for the light or dark side of the Force? And then similar to how you earn Command experience points, you'll earn dark or light side points for all the activities you do in the game. And on every server, you can influence the balance of the Force between the dark versus the light. And so let's say, hypothetically, the dark side is winning and you push all the way to Dark Side 5, what would happen then is like these evil Sith Lords would spawn on planets across the galaxy. And I think we have 6 different planets they can spawn on, and there are like 15 different spawn points per planet that all have like a 20% chance of spawning, and so you kind of have to work with your guilds to scout different planets, find these bosses. They're going to take, 8 or 16 players depending on how good you are to defeat them. So you have to scout planets, kind of move your capital ship, teleport your guilds in, go down and defeat them to kind of cleanse the galaxy of the evil and try to restore balance of the Force. So I think this is a really exciting activity. We really hope that it promotes people wanting to join a guild, wanting to have that social aspect, coordinating things like scouting planets. Hopefully for you PvP lovers out there, some of you are brave enough to hit the PvP instances and actually battle different guilds for control of the bosses to earn the rewards from them.
Well, here's the beautiful thing. If you get to somewhere where a boss is and you're on a PvE instance and you go, oh man, someone already tagged it or someone's already fighting it, go to the PvP instance because it's probably also there, but there's a little bit more danger in it. So
a little bit more danger.
So anyone who's looking for open world PvP content, this will certainly help make it happen.
And so, part of this is, okay, well, what are those bosses like? And so we actually have a couple of clips to show you guys. Yeah. I think we're really excited about how the mechanics turned out, and you guys can be the judge of that. I think it's the next slide.
It is the very next slide, yeah. And we have to give a shout out to our QA folks who are banging their heads against this.
We have an incredible QA team who help us out from Romania, and they did a really fantastic job of all the testing they do of this game in general. And so these clips are them playing it, and while we're going to poke a little fun at them because there were a couple of deaths and a few people who trapped their allies in some of the mechanics, they're really good players of the game, and they do a great job for us. And so thank you to them if you're watching. But for everyone else, let's take a little tease look.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna mute us, and then we'll just go over to the next video so you guys can watch it.
So a couple of questions. So we have an internal QA team as well as leveraging a team in Romania for all of you people who wanted to pick up on that. What was the other question?
What are the Dark First Light rewards that are on the vendors that you get with the commendations?
So there's a lot of really cool cosmetic gear, right? It's stuff that is brand new and the
kind
team...
of themed to light or dark side, because of course only one of those vendors is available at a time, depending on which side has won the battle, and then they're only available for a limited time. So yeah, you can go get cosmetic stuff tied to your particular alignment, maybe some other little surprises as well.
Yeah. And it's important to note, I forgot to mention it, but we want those win conditions to exist frequently, right? It's not like there's a 1 week or a 1 month battle and then finally someone's Dark 5. Like the intent of how the system is set up is that every couple of hours one side is winning. So if you get a pretty good Friday afternoon session in and you get home at 5:30, 6 o'clock and you get to play through till midnight, you should see this going back and forward several times in the evening and giving you lots of opportunities to jump in and participate in some of those boss fights, or earn bonus command experience points, or earn bonus light versus dark points, or get light versus dark tokens, or open cool loot crates, or do all the activities in the game, which is cool.
Yep. Nice. So general combat stuff before we get into the class specific stuff. For one, you can choose your advanced class at level 1 now. Part of the reason that we did that is we wanted to, there's a little bit of a jump from when you're playing 1 through 10 as, let's say you're playing 1 through 10 as an operative, or sorry, 1 through 10 as an agent, then you get to 10 and you go to play a sniper. Your experience is different because you maybe weren't using cover, or maybe the opposite's true. Maybe now you play an operative, but you've been using cover and shooting the whole time. And so what we wanted to make sure is there really are, you know, the advanced classes are the distinct gameplay, and so we wanted to make sure you get into that as soon as possible. So there's been reworks in the class to make sure that that happens sooner. All stances are now passive, part of your disciplines. This way you can't do what I do on every stream and forget to turn them on. They're just on. Thank you, combat team, for fixing my horribleness. And there's now a 4th tier of utilities for each advanced class. A lot of really cool and powerful stuff in there.
And it's really well balanced between PvE versus PvP stuff, right? One of the questions I saw earlier was what kind of PvP changes are happening, and I think rebalancing classes to me is the most exciting way to make PvP feel fresh again, and giving a new tier of utilities and some new abilities we're about to go through I think will certainly make that feel fresh and exciting again, as well as we're kicking off a new PvP season on day 1. So there'll be a whole fresh set of ranked play to participate in, which is really cool.
And really, I can't underline, we're going to kind of talk generally about the classes, and we're going to show you the new abilities, but there are big changes coming to each class to kind of help in these modifications. The patch notes are going to be posted on Monday. Tate wanted me to caveat that. They won't be posted at 6 a.m., so just be aware they'll probably come sometime in the afternoon. Austin time, but they will be up on Monday, and they are massive.
Extensive. At last check, it was 38 pages, I believe.
Out of control how long these patch notes are, so be ready for, put your reading glasses on if you need reading glasses, I suppose.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the changes. So first up, the Assassin and the Shadow. Adding a really cool from stealth ability that's high damage was kind of the intent here. The other big change is removing phase walk from these guys. We think we went a little over the top with mobility, and so we kind of toned that down, but as a kind of, not really replacement, but as a substitute, giving them a really cool high damage ability they can use.
And one of the questions that people saw coming out of the blog, the forum post where we talked about the phase walk came out, was that we had previously nerfed the cooldown on force speed, which we have, believe we've reverted that, but it's much shorter now, so that kind of gets some of the mobility back in that direction. But just as a note.
Yep. And again, remember, all the detailed information is on the forums for this, and then even more detailed information will be in the page.
High-level detailed information is on the forums, and then the crazy detail will come in the patch.
Because we could spend 45 minutes talking just about class changes, but we just wanted to kind of show the cool new abilities we've made. So next one is an improvement to Ravage or Blade Barrage, just instead of making a channeled ability, making it something quicker and faster for you to use.
With really the ultimate goal of, now, if you use a lightsaber and you are a knight or a warrior, you're going to feel that much more. There's no time where you need to stand still and press some buttons.
Exactly.
It's just a high damage murder ball with lightsabers.
So we also a change that kind of replaces vicious throws. So in these animations, it's the back half. You'll notice the first half is kind of the Ravage replacement.
Yep.
But yeah.
Cool.
It's a cool new animation, basically.
And again, we have to give thanks to Nick for making all these GIFs.
He did make all the GIFs.
He's a good man.
Also, if they're bad, judge Nick. Goes both ways. Goes both ways, Nick.
Marauder Sentinel, again, there's nothing better than being able to stab people with 2 lightsabers at once, and so we felt like it was important to continue to be able to do that.
Yeah, well, and it's always good if you're trying to be a little more mobile to be able to make your enemy a little less mobile.
That's true. That's true.
Here's your chance to do that.
Someone asked Blade Dance for Sentinel. It is worth noting that the changes that happen to Ravage and Blade Barrage are for Marauder, Marauders, Juggernauts, Sentinels, and Guardians. It's all of the Warrior Knight classes. It's the new non-channeled version is for all of them. The animation only showed one of them, one of the advanced classes, but it's for both advanced classes. Just as a note.
The change here for the Sniper and Gunslinger is just, making sure you had range on your stun. We won't talk about where the stun is aimed at on the enemy player, but it's funny nonetheless.
Yep, and again, this kind of goes into in PvP being able to be more mobile, is that now you can stun someone from 10 meters instead of having to stand right next to them. And again, in the utilities is really where a lot of the other mobility is that I talked about earlier. So, yes.
Oh, Eric, just for you. We talked earlier about, things like Uprisings have a lot of ads and mobs that attack you in big waves, and it's important everyone has the ability to AoE in the situations that you need to. And so one of those adjustments that came from that philosophy of those designers working the combat team was, hey, then we really need to make sure that Operatives and Scoundrels have a solid AoE. Yeah. And so here it is. Cool.
I will jokingly say, you guys know I reference my boss Keith all the time. He plays an operative main. The amount of times he would go to our combat team and be like, hey guys, when am I getting orbital strike back? Orbital bombardment back? And so when this ability came out, we're like, oh sweet, we now get AoE. And the really cool thing is if you're a healer specifically, you can cast this now from 30 meters away. So you now have a ranged AoE, that's very powerful and pretty good. So, and also the animation,
cool.
the bushwhack animation is so crazy.
Yeah,
Just
so
summon all
good.
these crazy spinning blades, like pretty legit.
Good old Merc Commando,
Yeah.
my favorite. So we've got a new ability to absorb single target damage and reflect half of it. So that's always handy. Plus a heal. So you're really getting a lot of bang for your buck.
Strong
out of this.
defensive, right?
Yeah,
It's really good
exactly.
defensive, yeah.
Really help you get through those tougher fights, maybe especially in Veteran and Master mode.
Yeah.
As you're getting into those.
Yeah, one of the things we heard
Plus
for
some really awesome effects there.
one of the things we heard for a long time with Mercs and Commando is we want more mobility, we want more survivability.
Yeah.
Code Fee, you got the ability to rock it out. Now you have a absorb reflect that heals.
Can't complain
That's
too
all.
much.
That's all right. That's all right.
I just saw the I approve this change in chat. Thank you.
I happen to play Merc also, play Merc and Operative, so I was very excited about those
And
two sets of changes.
I tend to play Commando a lot.
Yeah.
No particular reason.
Yep.
And then for Powertechs and Vanguards, we're kind of swapping out the Flamethrower and the Pulse Cannon, which have been removed. These are kind of new abilities that kind of you can see are sort of a similar shotgunny hit out, but not that stand there and channel it. It's sort of the quick,
instant cast,
quick
yeah.
blast.
Yeah, one of the big things that you guys will notice, because there's actually 3 slides dedicated to Powertech and Vanguard, is that kind of the goal was to make sure to focus them into melee and make sure
Yep.
that they were highly mobile. So
Yeah.
channeling largely out, although I'm lying because the next slide has channeling.
But you can move and channel in next one.
Correct.
And
Yep.
it's the best new ability because it's my favorite.
Yeah, because
Should we get onto it?
Yeah, I think we,
Right?
we probably should. Yep. Because when I saw the words replaces Death from Above and Mortar Volley, I was like, oh, those are some of my favorite animations. And then I saw these, I was like, oh, actually, no, that's
fine,
okay.
that's fine.
That's all right.
again,
And
that's only
Mercs and
for-
Troopers Commandos, keep the Death from Above and Mortar Volleys.
Right.
Yep.
But yeah, those are so sweet.
Like,
Look at all those missiles.
it's
So good. Love it.
And an additional ability, again, just to what Eric said, rounding out some of the arsenal, making sure that the classes fit in with the fantasies and the intent of them is adding, Shatter Slug and Flak Shell as well.
oh, good. Someone, it's not really a question, but someone said, but Flamethrower is so iconic. It's not. I kind of lied when I said it's removed from the game because it is still part of your heroic moment. If you have completed Chapter 3 of the original story on a bounty hunter or a commando, or you'll get, on a bounty hunter, you'll get Flamethrower as your ability from that. So you can still get Flamethrower if you want it. It's just tied to your heroic moment and not a class ability. Just as a note, because it is pretty iconic to shoot flames out of your wrist.
Yeah. Ooh, anniversary
Oh, man,
awards.
That was all the cool new animations and abilities.
Correct.
Of course, it doesn't cover all the new utilities
Yeah.
that we created. It doesn't cover all the changes that were created. They'll be in the detailed patch notes that Tate will post Monday evening.
Yep, there's a ton of it. So, the 5-year anniversary awards. It's our 5-year anniversary.
Yeah.
It is.
December 20th.
Just like that.
December 20th is our 5-year anniversary.
Yeah.
It's always hard to remember the date because of early access and launch in our
Right.
brains. But yes, it's 5-year anniversary this year. So as we've done in previous years, there'll be a vendor on the fleet where you can get these for 1 credit or and get them very cheaply. So here are the anniversary rewards that we're doing this time. There will be a Senya Hollow Trainer.
Yeah.
As you can see in the top left, a Celebration Jawa in the top right. I'm going to guess that's an RF5 on it.
It is.
It is? Yes. Okay. Yeah, that was my guess. This one I think is such a cool thing. There are stronghold decorations, which they're kind of the trophy style of each one of our arts from each of our
Key
expansions.
expansions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Which
the
you can
core
kind
game.
of see in the background if you look close enough.
Yep, and the core game and
Yep.
the original game as well. And then, as always, the Jerome and Koss and Corsair Strongholds for 5 credits, which my favorite joke to make is this deal's getting worse all the time because it goes up by 1 credit each year because we did it, I think year 3 is when we did it the first time, so it's 3 credits, now it's 4 credits, now it's 5
Still
credits.
pretty cheap.
It's pretty cheap.
I think you could
it's hard
probably
to complain.
you could probably muster
When
up-
you
Oh,
bank in inflation, it's kind of
Yep.
on par.
Yeah, I think there it is. I was going to ask. I remember it was one of the questions that comes up a lot was whether that Jawa would count for the achievement.
Yep. Yeah, the that's just wrong achievement is that you have to kill enemies in, I think it's enemies in Tatooine with the party Jawa out. I'm trying to remember. And we got asked for a really long time, like, hey, I missed the cutoff for the party Jawa. I don't have it, but I need all the achievements because it needs them.
Yeah.
How do I get them?
Here you
and
go.
so now you can get the Celebration Jawa and you can get that achievement.
I've seen this question come up a lot. It's not related to this, but in the finale of this expansion, is there any alternate finale like light or dark side? All I think we should say to that is it's definitely worth playing the expansion with light side and dark side choices, and I think you'd have a good experience in seeing the differences that play out.
Yeah.
That's as vague an answer as I'm going to give because it can't be spoilery, but I would definitely say it's worth it.
Yeah.
And if you have friends doing the opposite to you, when you both finish, I would talk to each other, and compare the experience that you had.
Yeah.
And just one reminder, we're still accepting the character headshots of your screenshots of your characters because we're doing the anniversary collage. And you can learn all the information about the 5-year anniversary awards at SWTOR.com/SWTOR5. Pretty easy to remember. That should be live. Actually, probably has been live for about a half an hour now, but you can go read all those details.
And
there.
just to be clear, this is for anyone playing the game now.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct.
Next.
Look at that.
We're rounding it out.
Near the end.
So the stream and blog plan is kind of light because
launch time.
We're launching. So just as a reminder, early access begins on Tuesday if you qualify for it. If you don't qualify for early access, full launch will be on Friday. And then we're still locking down exact dates, but we will have more streams coming in December, coming in January. We'll probably still continue to do, like, we can't abandon the Dream Team.
Stream Dream Team.
Yeah, we can't abandon that. So we'll continue to do updates. I mean, as we've already talked about, Master Mode chapters coming in January, more Uprisings and Master Mode Uprisings coming early next year thereafter. We've already talked about having answers to some other questions you guys have asked, early next year. Yeah. So
because loosely we're saying let's try to do 2 streams in December, and then when we come back in the new year, do a stream early-ish in January, something like that.
Yep, but we'll get the full schedule locked down ASAP, and then we'll get that out to you guys. So do we want to take maybe like 5 minutes to answer some questions? Because we only got one more thing.
Yeah.
It's a good
thing. Which is really amazing. And then, but other than that, so we'll just maybe take a few questions, and then...
Is Charles Boyd related to Khal Drogo? Yes. But only through marriage.
He is your smaller, less strong brother.
That's clearly the truth.
Right?
I like throwing axes too. It's fun.
I take it we're too late to qualify for early access. Yeah, you needed to be a subscriber as of the 25th of October. That would qualify you for the 3-day early access. Otherwise, you'll have to sit on the sidelines until December 2nd.
Yep. We have been told we can do anything to get Galactic Command XP, including Heroics, but since Heroics have weekly lockouts, how can I do that forever to get Command XP?
There are a lot of heroics to do, but outside of that.
Yeah. Plus the daily area missions, so which, kind of the same idea. If you want to go do something solo to do that, you can replay chapters solo. I mean, there's lots of solo options to do.
And you know what? Dip your toe into Uprisings. Like if your concern is not having the time or whatever, they're faster than a lot of other group activity we've had before. And especially on story mode, I think you really have a good time. If you've played enough of the game that you're completing all the heroics and all the daily areas and repeating the chapters and you still have time, I think you've played enough of the game that you could safely have a really great experience playing an Uprising.
Yeah, and I think a lot of what we've talked about of being able to do anything is, are you a solo player? Are you a group player? You can find the gameplay you want to focus on to still get Command XP.
Yeah.
So.
Someone said, will you consider switching Command experience to be legacy-wide? No, we don't believe so. We think that doing it per character is the right thing to do. Although we do believe in if you have a character who gets high enough, that it would be cool to have catch-up mechanics for alt. So, if you reach command rank 300, for example, providing in the future some ways for your next character to get points faster, we think that would be a cool idea to help people who want to play multiple characters. And so we're just going to first see how this plays out at launch, and then we'll have some news coming on that. But we think that's really important. Catch-up mechanics in general is something that we'll add over time.
As with anything, we're going to be looking at the feedback on it and look for the best way to address it.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. That's the kind of stuff that once we go live especially, and you're kind of in it and feeling Galactic Command, if that's something where you're like, I kind of just wish my alts leveled faster, please make sure to give that feedback. That'll be the kind of stuff that I'll be passing on to the team.
So I'm embarrassed that I don't know the answer to this question.
Oh.
But what are we doing with the Alliance supply crates?
Alliance supply crates. Wait, hang on. I know the answer. Get another question while I think in my brain. Because I feel like I actually answered this question on the forums too, but I could be lying to you.
Yeah, I know. The thing is we had these 3 different choices, and I don't remember in my head right now. We can follow up on him in the forums and post that answer because we all have failed by not knowing every detail of the 38-page
Correct. And to be fair, the main reason we're confused, right, is because there was multiple places they were going to come from, and I'm not sure where we landed.
I don't want to say the wrong thing at all.
So I will get the confirmation and make sure to get that answer to you.
Okay.
Can I kill Koth and make his kids watch? And when did we ever say Koth had kids? This question is non-canon. Don't accept it.
The Koth. My favorite question from earlier is, can we get a Musco companion so I can then have him kill Koth in game? Which I was like, man, you guys are getting deep into it.
Let's go into a dark place.
Where do we get a Revan t-shirt? Oh, you mean like this?
Yes.
For example?
If only.
I don't know where to get them from. This you can't get. This is special.
Travel back in time and
invent a time machine. Give me a call. I will give you a T-shirt, and then we will use your time machine together.
Did my
you traded a T-shirt for access to a time machine?
Yeah, seems fair. Seems fair.
I feel like you won that trade.
That was the deal I was offering. Okay.
All right. Oh, Charles, did your washing machine explode?
It did not explode, but it also was not repaired. The appointment was rescheduled while I was in the car on the way home, which was awesome.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We'll need updates every live stream.
That's actually why I'm not wearing a T-shirt today, because I have not been able to do my laundry on that machine.
Get rid of gold spammers. We're spending a lot of energy on that at the moment. Please continue to give us feedback on where you're seeing gold spammers, how you're seeing them operate, if you have ideas or suggestions. Yep. We have some changes we've been implementing that I won't go into yet, but we're aware of it, and we want to get rid of them as well.
Always report them. Always. I know sometimes you'll report them and it looks like we haven't done anything. In some cases, we wait and we take down like entire networks at a time. So don't feel like it's inaction that's happening. It's really important that you guys keep reporting them. It makes it easier for us to find them as well. Mm-hmm. So, what will happen with unused gear tokens in 5.0? I am 99% sure the answer to that is they will be converted to credits.
That's correct.
Okay. Yep. I'm glad that I was 99 and you guys were 100.
Yeah, 100% on that one.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bang.
Stop conveniently avoiding the questions about missing companions, please. We literally answered it.
Have I really avoided that?
Today in the last 30 minutes with a 5-minute explanation. Yeah, so
I think I've
you're welcome.
It
Feel free to rewind the stream later and listen to Charles's long answer about it.
Ben's just tired of hearing it.
Uprisings through Group Finder. Uprisings are accessed through Galactic Command, which is kind of
you can
ultimately like if the question is, hey, can I click to find a group and have something put me in a group? Yes, and you do it through the Galactic Command interface. For what it's worth, on the back end, it puts you into Group Finder. So that's a great way to queue. You don't have to form your own groups. You can enter a queue.
The coffin killing stuff, I just can't. I'm not gonna read it, but that one cracked me up. That one cracked me up.
Okay, let's not read that.
Yep. If you're watching this in archive, there's something in chat. That was.
What about how gear works in PvP? Yeah, so like one of the ideas behind playing any activity and earning rewards is that it made sense for all gear to have similar stats, and so to that sense, expertise has been removed, and PvP is just play PvP, and they get gear, and that gear is useful in PvP. Then if you get high enough gear in PvP and you want to dabble in some PvE activities, you can do that as well, and those guys can do that vice versa, and hopefully it makes it easier for you to transfer between activities and just play as much of the game as you feel like playing.
Oh, this is a fantastic question, and I'm so glad that you asked. What happens to uncompleted missions when you log in when 5.0 starts? Don't have uncompleted missions because they will reset.
Yes.
It happens every time we do a major update, especially like an expansion, so I cannot say it enough. In fact, I'll probably go back and post it on the forums because that is a good reminder. Uncompleted missions that are in progress will reset when 5.0 goes live, and that means on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, if you have any uncompleted missions, they will reset. Thank you for asking that question.
Yes.
Will there be a story option in Knights of the Eternal Throne to have Malgus sit on the Eternal Throne? Was the question in chat.
I suppose if your character is named Malgus, who's dressed up as Malgus, I'm still not going to answer because it's spoilery.
Let's not talk about Malgus today.
Why is it called the Horizon Guard?
Because it's awesome. These are Valen's new execution squad. They're her most elite soldiers, the sort of hand-picked knights, the ones who are most loyal to her. And you can imagine what someone must be like to be loyal to Valen above other knights. And when we've seen what Valen does to knights pretty much all the time, these are some really nasty dudes and dudettes.
What about non-advanced class tunes? We'll be encouraging you very strongly to select an advanced class. It was never intended to not pick an advanced class, so you'll be reminded fairly frequently that you should be picking an advanced class. Mm-hmm. And in the future, when you create a character, it's just not a choice anymore.
Right. So we're at an hour. Should we wrap up and press the next button?
Yeah, I think so. Have we done a good job answering questions? Like, that was our goal, right? Like, we don't want people to walk away being like, they didn't answer the questions. Like, we've really tried. We spent an extra time. We spent the hour. So I don't know. Did we does chat think we did a good job?
I mean, I can tell you that I know for sure, because I brought it up with these guys before, that I know there was a forum thread going with questions of stuff that people wanted to have brought up to the stream. Not gonna lie, I didn't have time today to gather. I read the thread, but I didn't have time to gather the questions and bring them with me. So what I'm going to try to do is, if I get time today before I have to eventually leave the building, I'll try to get some answers in there. If not, on Monday, I'll definitely get some questions into that thread on some of the last remaining stuff. Like, a lot of it was kind of crafting oriented and a lot of nitty gritty questions. So I'll make sure to get some more answers in for that as well. Also, patch notes will be out on Monday, so that will also answer a lot of questions if I haven't gotten there. We need an answer, can we kill Koth? I think that qualifies under spoilers we're not going to answer, although I appreciate you asking.
Yeah. But I think you make a good point, which is, hey, all the patch notes are out very soon. Hopefully that answers the rest of the questions. But, you know, a week or so after launch, we'll be back here with another live stream, or that kind of timeline. We've got to finalize it. And so if there's things that are still outstanding questions or questions about the future or whatever, we can certainly address some portion of that in December.
Yep. All right.
You guys are always awesome huggles. That is a great way to end this. That was very nice. I appreciate that.
That's adorbs.
Well, you ruined that moment.
Why else am I here, Ben? Why else am I here? Sorry. A question that I did see come up a bunch, and I think it is probably worth saying, even though we're a few days from launch, are there new strongholds coming in Kotet?
There are not.
Okay. I know I've seen it come up a couple times in chat. I just want to make sure to be clear that that's not, since we're a few days away. Oh, and I did see a question about the Dark First Light companion. At this point, I actually think the Dark First Light battle element of it is done. And so it will be Master Reynos, which is the light side Chiss companion. You will get it. I will verify. I don't want to say the wrong answer. I think everyone will get it on Tuesday.
Yeah, the 29th. Yep.
Yeah, but whenever you log in to the expansion.
Okay, cool. I still couldn't remember if it was going to be then or if it was going to be Friday. Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And show them off. If you earned it, show it off.
Yep.
Odessa, the fleet, everywhere.
Absolutely.
All right, who wants to tease up the last video we have?
I mean, we all want to, right?
Yeah, I know.
I will abstain. I'll let you two fight it out.
I can't take it away from Musco.
Yeah,
He's so excited about it.
I think this is a must.
Guys, I am smitten right now. That's adorbs, I might say. So, every year in December, there's an important Star Wars event, which is Life Day. And so typically, we will introduce new rewards and things that are tied into Life Day. So when I press next, we'll end the stream. We're going to show you one of the things coming to the Cartel market for Life Day this year, and it is the single greatest thing we've ever done, besides potentially putting Kai'Saiken at some point eventually ever as a companion. This is by far the best and coolest thing we've ever done. I am so excited when I saw this video.
Slightly awkward correction. The rewards go out on the 2nd, not the 29th, on full launch on the Friday.
Oh, do they?
Tate just posted in chat, which means that certain people I know told him, which means certain people I know are going to be mad at me for getting it wrong.
Excellent.
But just want to clarify before, in case you weren't reading chat, I'm sorry that I kind of ruined your lead.
No, you didn't. That's good. That is an important clarification. I couldn't remember. I knew we were bouncing between those two, but that's good to know. So, without any further ado, farewell from us.
Fare thee well.
Thanks so much for tuning in to all the streams that we've been doing. It's been such a pleasure.
6 or 7 streams. You only have a few days left, and you get to play. And it'll be.
Can't wait for y'all to get in there and let us know what you think.
It's been really fun for us sharing all this info. I speak for myself. I had a great time on these streams. I think the chat's been really good to us. I think everyone's been having a good time.
I mean, like I said,
sharing information is our dream. So it's awesome to be able to do all of it.
The thing we like the least is not being able to share information, and so we've had weeks of just being like stuff and videos, and so it's been cool.
Yeah.
And if you're in the States and we don't talk to you, happy Thanksgiving.
Yes.
If you're outside the States, Thanksgiving is tomorrow. So that's why I said that.
Yeah.
Happy Thursday and Friday
for the rest of
Thanksgiving people
Yeah.
and the weekend. To my people back home in Australia, they'll appreciate that as well.
All right, so without any further Life Day hype, I'm going to hide our faces for this one because I think it's important. I'm going to mute the microphone, and then I'm going to press next. And we want you all to enjoy. Thank you guys again for tuning in.
And we'll see you soon.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it.